New at 10, living in the heartland, you'll see your fair share of farms. There's nothing too uncommon about cows, horses, or sheep, but another type of livestock also calls the heartland home. KTVO's Troy Moling went on the road to see how one couple is spending their golden years tending to a different kind of herd.
You'll find them roughly a mile off an unassuming dirt road a few miles south of downtown Albia. Squint, and they look like rabbits on stilts or walking cotton balls. The sunlight reflects against their fluffy white coats, producing a majestic aura of confidence and mischief. So, just what are these things?
Alpacas are a mammal. They're in the camelid family, which includes camels, llamas, vicuna, guanacos, and of course the alpacas. There's two different types of breeds of alpacas. There's a Wakayas, which we have. They're kind of a teddy bear, fuzzy, furry looking breed type. And there's a Surrey, which has more of a pencil or a mop type look to it.
Looking from one to the next, each appears identical, but for alpaca pros like Bill Dewey and his wife Sherry, they know nothing could be further from the truth.
We've been raising alpacas for 15 years now. We like the animals. They're a lot of fun to work with, and they each have individual personalities, and they're just a great animal to have and care for.
Bill and Sherry have almost 20 alpacas on just a few acres. It's the largest alpaca farm in the heartland.
Well, we have a 300-acre farm here in southern Iowa, but our alpacas only take up about 3-acre footprint for operating them. They're very light on the land. They don't take a very big pen, and they're very, very feed efficient. We feed one small grass hay bale of hay to our alpacas per day.
The low maintenance isn't the only factor that went into choosing to raise this unique animal. Unlike other livestock, these alpacas are bred for a single purpose.
The alpacas are not a meat animal. Their end product is their high quality fleece. So you're not slaughtering the animals. You keep the animals through their breeding cycle all the way up through their entire life. They produce good quality fleece clear up through their older years in life. That's our end product, our harvest, so to speak.
The animals are sheared once a year. In addition, toenails are trimmed once a month and teeth are trimmed annually too.
It's been a very good business for us. We've done a lot of high quality breeding, and now the phase of our operation is into high quality fleece production. That's where we wanted to be about this time in our alpaca ranch career.
And the career that helped in shaping many generations of alpacas became a reality right here in the heartland. Reporting in Albia, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
If you'd like to schedule a visit to Bill and Sherry's ranch, we've posted a link to their website on heartlandconnection.com. Tomorrow night on KTVO News at 10, watch to see what happens to the fleece once it's sheared. Watch as we travel to the largest alpaca yarn store in Iowa and hear what sets alpaca fibers apart from other fibers. New at 10, think about your favorite shirt or sweater. What's it made of? Alpaca fleece is one of the world's most sought-after fibers, and there's a store that caters to that right here in the heartland. KTVO's Troy Moling went on the road to see how it gets from the farm to your closet.
The truck out front with the custom-made license plate should prepare you for what's ahead.
I've been open here since 2008 and have just continued to build the shop until now. It's the largest yarn shop in Iowa.
But I'm not here to spin a yarn because this isn't your typical yarn store.
Our primary focus that is a specialty is alpaca yarns.
That's right, the alpaca. The happy-go-lucky creature bred for its calm disposition and beautiful fleece.
Alpaca fibers are very, very warm like wool, but they're very soft. So a lot of people can wear them right next to the skin. They don't feel that prickle factor that you might feel with wool.
And much of the store's inventory comes from the very ranch that Sherry operates with her husband Bill, the only farm of its kind in the heartland.
We shear our alpacas for the high quality fleece that they have. Our animals come from a specific ranch in Peru that had been breeding for high quality fleece for many years.
Alpacas with differing types of fleece can be bred to get the desired fiber for a particular item.
There's coarse, which is what you would use for rugs or chore type socks. And then there's superfine, which is used for scarves and kind of your outer garments. And then there's baby, which are the ones you might want to wear right next to your body, or a super soft scarf.
So how much fiber can you get from one alpaca? About 5 small sweaters, 15 to 20 scarves, 50 packages of yarn, and even a few hats.
We separate out the fibers, so the prime fiber or the blanket of the animal is separated, and then you actually even have uses for the lower leg hair, belly hair. The neck fibers can be very high quality, and so it's a very interesting process.
All of the alpacas at Sherry's Ranch are white, but that's just one of many options for shoppers.
Alpacas come in 16 recognized colors, and so it's all the way from the whites up to dark blacks and some of the beautiful rose grays, fawns, browns in between. So a lot of the commercial alpaca might be dyed or it might be in the natural colors. Sometimes they're blended with other fibers like nylon to make socks, or they're blended with silk or bamboo, but it's a wonderful fiber.
And it's that versatility coupled with comfort and style that has Sherry's customers coming back for more. Reporting in Albia, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
The Fiber Art Shop is located on the downtown square in Albia and also offers a wide variety of weaving, knitting, and crocheting classes. We've included a link to the store on HeartlandConnection.com. Sirens, ambulances, and emergency helicopters. They're usually cause for alarm, but this week officials from the Adair County Ambulance District and other places have been conducting training drills to prepare for the real deal. KTVO's Troy Moling shows us what they're doing to keep you safe.
It starts with a 911 call.
Help out here, I got a bus overturned. Hurry, they're screaming.
An overturned school bus and people trapped inside. A high-pressure situation for you and me, but all in a day's work for these first responders.
The scenario today is we have made a mock disaster of a school bus that has flipped. It's going to have about 11 or 12 patients in there, and our crews are going to have to come together and work together in order to make entry into the bus and then also to extricate the patients out.
Emergency personnel took the call and Truman students volunteered to play the injured.
It's intense, for sure. I think the biggest thing for me is it's a little bit too realistic.
This was the third training drill this week at the Nemo Fairgrounds.
It's definitely been a multi-agency event in the community. Lots of people pulling together to help our emergency response personnel really get some quality training.
Officials hope the training that's been learned never has to be used. But if it does, they'll be ready.
Things like this here is something we don't see very often, and so we've got to really learn how to communicate with each other. A big goal is communication with the responders so that everybody knows what's going on so we can effectively do our job.
Reporting in Kirksville, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
A.T. Still University and Adair County first responders took part in the exercise. A drill of this size takes place about once a year.
It never happens here. A school on lockdown and a shooter on the loose. KTVO's Troy Moling was there as the Schuyler County Sheriff's Office taught the teachers a lesson about what to do if the unthinkable happens.
Emergency responders, injured children, and dangerous weapons, all at Schuyler schools today. But fortunately, none of it was real.
Today we conducted an active shooter drill. This is to get the teachers ready in case we have a scenario where we have a person who enters the schools and starts shooting up the school.
Officials from neighboring fire stations and police departments took part in Thursday morning's drill. The goal was to prepare teachers and administrators for a worst-case situation.
It's alarming in a way, but it's definitely necessary for us to know what to do, but it does make your heart beat a little bit.
I think that it's very scary, and it improves our skills, and it gives us more of a realistic idea of what could happen.
In the exercise, fake gunshots were heard and teachers were given instructions to lock their classroom and stay quiet. Officers were sent in to apprehend the shooter and secure the school.
It gives us a little bit of training. It gives us scenarios, and then we can sit there and review back and talk about what things we could change that's going to make something like this a little bit better. And same thing for the teachers. It gets them to know what they have to do, and if there's any mistakes that they did at that time. We obviously did learn a lot from today's drill, things that we should not do and not try to do.
Teachers and officials know this is not a fun exercise, but it is important.
Well, we want to keep our children safe at all times and do the best we can to keep them safe so we can return them home to their parents.
Because these teachers know when the safety of your child is at stake, you can never practice enough. Reporting in Queen City, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
The school has organized drills like this one in the past, but this is the first time the sheriff's office has been involved. Similar scenarios have been conducted in Adair and Putnam counties.
How far would you travel for a better life? KTVO's Troy Moling has the story of how a man from Africa sacrificed everything to come to the heartland and what he's doing to give his family a better future.
It's the controlled chaos that reminds Richard Yampanya of his home over 7,000 miles away. It's the gathering around the table with peanuts, homemade beignets, and orange juice. It's his native language filling his ears and his soul. It's the company at the table. They're his brothers and sisters, united not in blood, but in a shared heritage. It's a piece of Africa, the Congo specifically, that's found a home in the heartland. So how does a man from the Congo, a country torn apart by war, economic turmoil, and political corruption, decide to begin a new life in northeast Missouri?
In Congo, we have many problems. We have many problems, political problems, economic problems. Everything is hard in Congo. I have 6 children, and to send children to school is so hard. You work hardly, but you haven't money. That's why I decided with my wife to immigrate in USA.
With Richard, the search for a better life is a common refrain. That's what led him to give up his life as an economist in Africa to come here, no matter the obstacles.
To come here first, it was so hard for me to leave my family. And I remember when I came here, my daughter was so sick, and I left. When I left Congo, she was in the hospital. And I remember I cried like a kid. I cried, but I should come here because it was this way only to help my children to get a good education. That's why it was so hard to leave Congo, but it was like a new door opened for me to get a new life and a best life.
You can never underestimate the power of connection to your home. So it was only fitting that Richard went where past Congolese immigrants had settled. He spent several years in Illinois and Indiana before moving to the heartland.
Richard has been here for 5 years, but he isn't alone. Just last year, his wife and 4 children joined him, but their time apart wasn't easy.
When I was alone here, it was so hard for me. You know, I worked so hard to get money to send to them and to take care for myself. It was so complicated for me.
More of Richard's countrymen are following in his footsteps. Within the last year, what was once a mere 5 families has grown to 40, totaling close to 100 Congolese people. Many have found work at Farmland Foods in Milan. There, that feeling of belonging that was lost an ocean away is being rediscovered. Additionally, the refugees are finding community with the local population.
God put on our way nice people. They help us to be integrated. And when new people come, we introduce them. Now we feel like part of community. And everything is going very, very well. And the people in Kirksville are so nice.
But don't think this is the end of the story. With his heart forever tethered to his family, Richard's dreams for the future become crystallized.
My goal is to go back to school, to get a diploma from here, and to look for a nice job.
It's a goal he doesn't take lightly as he sets an example for his children and the new country he now calls home. Reporting in Kirksville, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
The residents from the Congo are planning a parade in downtown Kirksville. They want to hold it on June 30th because that's their country's Independence Day. Roller derby in the heartland is back. KTVO's Troy Moling talked to the players and found out this isn't your mother's roller derby.
To everyone else, she's Kelsey, but once she puts on the helmet and the skates...
My derby name is Cyclops.
And that's because...
I had retinoblastoma cancer as a kid, so I really am a Cyclops because I can only see out of one eye.
Well, at least we know she's tough. And you, number 451, what's your handle?
Pyrocrastic?
Cyclops and Pyrocrastic are just a couple of about a dozen women who are members of the Nemo Queens roller derby team. And they've all got a name.
My derby wife is Guillotina. We have Greenhouse Gashes. Mutant Jean is one of the founding members of the league. Something Shiny is one of the fun names on our team. She left out all the vowels, so announcers get really tripped up.
But having a cool name is nothing if you can't skate and take a hit. Fortunately, that's not a problem for these ladies.
At derby, you can be as competitive as you want to be. You can be as rough and tumble as you want to be. You don't get in trouble. Oh, you're playing like the boys.
There is a little bit of satisfaction when the timing is just perfect and you lay someone flat out. And it's kind of an adrenaline rush. Kind of feel it a little bit the next day, but it is kind of fun and exciting, and, you know, they give it back just as good as we give it. So if you're on the giving end, you're going to be on the receiving end just as well.
Roller derby has evolved a lot over the years, but that doesn't mean it's any less competitive.
I think what's neat is our team gives back to the community. I mean, it's not what it was in the 70s when I used to watch it before church with my granddad with hair pulling and biting and, you know, blood. But it's still a very physical sport, and we're serious, and, you know, that it's just a lot of fun, and it's something that's family friendly.
The Vi Queens were founded in 2013 and play games against teams in Iowa, Illinois, and other parts of Missouri.
We've gone as far north as Humboldt, Iowa. And so far, we've gone as far south as Springfield, Missouri. We've gone as far east as Decatur, Illinois.
Saturday night will be the Vi Queens' first home game in almost 4 months. It takes place at the Kirksville High School gym, and players want a raucous atmosphere.
I want the crowd to have fun. Our very first bout ever, it was like the Thunderdome in the school gym. So I want to see tons of people there, make it loud, make it a Thunderdome again, really just get pumped about your hometown girls.
Doors open at 6 p.m. and the action starts at 7. Tickets are $10 and kids 7 and under get in free. Reporting from Kirksville, Troy Moling, KTVO News.
Women of all skill levels are encouraged to stop by Wednesday nights for an open practice. It takes place at Leisure World and the cost is $5. For more information, head to heartlandconnection.com.